Okay, I think we can moving to for the first presentation. The first presenter for this conference is Sister Irna Puji Lestari, and the title of the paper is Multidimensional of Risk and Religiosity Toward Indonesian Muslim Sharia Investment Decision. For Sister Irna, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Sister Irna, time is yours.
Please let me allow the screen first. Okay. Okay, salam to everyone and good afternoon. Before I start, I would like to thanks to all the committees and also Bank of Indonesia to give the opportunity today to join this such of prestigious event. First, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Irna Puji Lestari, and currently I'm work at Ministry Religious Affairs of Indonesia. And I'm here today with my co-authors, Mr. Wenang Ginanjar from PT Taspen Indonesia, and we both are master graduate from Jakarta State University. We are very delighted today to present our research paper with entitled Multidimensional of Risk and Religiosity Towards Indonesia Muslim Sharia Investment Decision. Now let's begin with the introduction, the major background of our study. Recently, we can see that Sharia investment has a quite impressive growth and good prospect, of course, especially in Indonesia where our study was conducted. This improvement can be seen such as through the Global Islamic Economy Indicator, where Indonesia has gained the 5th rank, and this also supported by the data from Financial Services Authority in Indonesia that until the end of 2019, investor Sharia in Indonesia has reached about 68,000 users. And still, we cannot ignore the fact that Indonesia is one of the largest Muslim population country in the world. So looking at this improvement and opportunities, it is very possible that Islamic investment in Indonesia will have positive trends and will gain more Muslim potential investor in the future. But one thing that must be considering that Muslim potential investor might have different behavior to react with the dynamic of the Islamic capital market, which in our opinion may have less risk and more certainty than conventional markets. So this Muslim potential investor, we also experience different personal risk tolerance. Many researchers, especially in behavioral finance, have been studied about the influence of risk tolerance to individual investment behavior, but most of the study was only focused in conventional investment area. So one of main objectives of our study is to investigate whether this risk tolerance has also influenced Muslim when deciding to invest in Sharia. As in our limited observation, it's not been particularly investigated. And well, to specifically examine this individual risk tolerance, we adopt a Corel approach, Corel 2001, a separate risk tolerance into four multidimensional, namely risk propensity, risk attitude, risk capacity, and risk knowledge. And to what extent are these four dimensional of risk impact Sharia investment decision, and what kind of influence that come with it? Is it positive or is it negative? That is our main research question. Further, we also including the religiosity into our estimation models because we assume religiosity is one of specific factors for Muslims that influence their investment decision behavior, and to have this broader understanding about how the level of religiosity can interrelate it with multidimensional of risk and also the investment decision. Hence, we also testing the moderating effect of religiosity. And next, to answer our research question, we propose the conceptual model as you can see at the slide. There are 5 constructs here: risk propensity, risk attitude, risk capacity, risk knowledge, and religiosity as independent variable, and to see the influence to the Sharia investment decision as the dependent. And as for religiosity, we also tested the moderating effect for all the relation in the model. So there will be 9 hypotheses that will be tested in the model. And next, for the methodological, our sample size is 300 respondents of Muslim working in Indonesia using confidence sampling techniques. And for the measurement, we use structured questionnaire with 1 to 5 scale that we adapt as much as possible from previous study. So the total items in this research is 41 items. And to enhance the validity and the reliability of the instrument, we have conducted a pilot study of 30 respondents. Now let's move on to the analytical tools. Given that our conceptual model has a moderating variable and also we classify our study as explanative study, then we use the most suitable analysis technique, which is partially square SEM-PLS. And for testing the moderating effect of religiosity, we first transform religiosity into categorical variable, namely casual, moderate, and devout. Then we test the effect of the moderation with multi-group analysis, and all data will be processed using software SEM-PLS version 3. And next is our result study. For the descriptive, we categorize first each variable into 3 levels, and based on this categorization, the result found that majority of our respondents are shown to moderate to high level of Sharia investment decision and low to moderate level of risk propensity. They also shown moderate to high level risk attitude and also in risk capacity, and then low to moderate level risk knowledge, and most of them are moderately religious. And we also conduct a cross-tabulation to enrich the finding in the descriptive analysis, as you can see the result in the slide. And next, for the SEM-PLS result, in the first step, in the measurement model, we ensure that all of the item has loading value above the cutoff value, 0.6. So items with the value below will be eliminated from the model. And to meet the convergent and discriminant validity and also the construct reliability, we evaluate Cronbach alpha, the AV value, and then the Fornolarco criterization test and composite reliability test, and all of this with the cut value as recommended by Hare et al. 2010. And for the next stage in PLS is evaluating the structural model by assessing R square and Q square. Our R square value is 0.517, which categorized as moderate. And this finding also means that our 5 exogenous latent variable can explain 51.7% of our endogenous variable. And as for the Q square, we're performing a blindfolding procedure in SEM-PLS and get the result of 0.328, which indicates that the model has the predictive relevance since the value is above 0. And next, for the hypothesis result, to test the hypothesis, we perform bootstrapping procedure. And to ensure the stability of the result, we use the number of 1,000 subsample. The decision rule will be based on the statistic and also p-value. The alternative hypothesis will be accepted if the statistic above 1.96 and p-value is below 0.05. And the result hypothesis testing found that risk propensity and also risk attitude in Muslim has negative significant effect to Sharia investment decisions. So we accept the first and the second hypothesis. And the third hypothesis was also supported that risk capacity has positive significant effect to Sharia investment decision. But however, hypothesis 4 was rejected as there is no significant influence of risk knowledge to Sharia investment decision. And we also found a direct positive influence between religiosity and Sharia investment decision. And to test the moderating effect, we perform PLS MGA that we have described earlier. In SEM-PLS software, MGA can only be compared between 2 different groups, as there are 3 groups of religiosity in our model, so we will conduct 3 different comparisons in the analysis. So we will compare casual versus moderate, casual versus devout, and moderate versus devout. And the hypothesis will be accepted if at least one difference of the level of religiosity has p-value below 0.05 in the relationship between each of the variable of multidimensional of risk and the variable of Sharia investment decision. And according to that, our result of MGA provides statistical significant evidence that the different level of religiosity for moderate and devout was found to influence the relationship between risk propensity and Sharia investment decision. But it wasn't found in the relationship between risk attitude, risk capacity, and risk knowledge towards Sharia investment decisions. So we only accepted hypothesis 6. Well, in conclusion, based on the hypothesis testing, we found the first key finding that three of multidimensional offerings have significant influence on the Sharia investment decision, namely risk propensity, risk attitude, and risk capacity. But we can find significant effect in risk knowledge. We presume that it might be because our respondent in this study may lack of the information or have limited knowledge about the risk in Sharia investment. And the second finding is that religiosity has become one of strong predictor of Muslim to invest in Sharia. And the last finding is by performing multi-group analysis, we found significant difference between risk propensity and Sharia investment decision among moderate and devout religious individual. And based on this finding, we recommend that Financial Services Authority in Indonesia or other related parties to develop standard risk profiling tools that including risk propensity, risk attitude, and risk capacity assessment that can be used by many financial planners so they can offering the best advice on the allocation of risky asset in Muslim portfolios. And also this assessment will help potential investor to self-evaluate it before making risky investment decision. And the last, we also like to admit that our study has several limitations, so for further research, we recommend to develop a model, by including other factors such as socio-demographic, and also to measure Sharia investment decision by adopting objective financial measures such as the amount of financial Sharia assets. Well, that brings us to the end. Thank you for your attention, and I will give back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you, Sister Irna Bujilestari. Very nice presentation. Okay, now please for Dr. Muhammad Abduh to give you feedback regarding this presentation.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for, first of all, with regard to the originality of the topic, so my response will be yes. I mean, the topic is interesting, and I think it has a potential to be published in any suitable journals, inshallah. And clarity of problem, research gap, significance, I think that also okay. And the way you write your literature review is also very nice. I mean, I can understand clearly what you are trying to deliver to the readers. My concern is now with regard to the data, because you mentioned that the data is 300 Muslim employees in Indonesia. All right. My questions is, you are studying about investment behavior. Okay. So do they, all these 300 are also investing in Islamic investment scheme, or they don't? That's the first questions. Yeah. Because if you find out that they don't have any type of investment scheme anywhere, I mean, in capital markets or in mutual funds and whatnot, so it's basically you are trying to see the perceptions, not the real intention. Yeah. Yeah. And then in paragraph 2, page 27 of your paper, you mentioned that, I will quote, the general concept of investment risk, such as systematic and unsystematic risk, was not entirely understood by the respondents. Perhaps, my opinion, perhaps because they are not the right information provider for your research objective, because they don't even know what is basically sukuk or what is basically mutual fund. Yeah. I mean, this is just my guess. You may respond after this. All right. So that would be my first concern with regard to the data. Yeah. research design, method used, I think if the data is appropriate, is correct, the research design and the methods will be okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Muhammad Abdul. For the first question, why is our respondent is not actual investor? Because our main objective is to make assessment, is to make a risk tolerant assessment. So we think the respondent should be the Muslim that that only have the intention to invest, but not really actual investor. They just a potential investor. That's why we choose respondent from Muslim that not actual investor. And then for the second about the relation why risk knowledge is rejected. Wait, wait, I open my journal first. Yes, it's first it's because the data shows like that, of course. But we argue that a Muslim might have overconfidence, so they might ignore the knowledge, they might ignore the information in the market. So that's why the risk knowledge doesn't affect their investment behavior. Yes, I think that's just all from me to the response.